Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Investigators in Cars Drinking Coffee. Today we're going to talk to you about death penalty work, mitigation work from the investigator standpoint. I'm here in a neighborhood where 30 years ago I had my first capital case, a death penalty case in which our client was charged with first-degree murder. The victim was his wife with whom he shared a home. According to the police report and to the autopsy report, the victim was stabbed multiple times, and a witness who was present, who was actually an accomplice, who was not charged but pled guilty to a lesser offense, stated during trial that the victim cried out during the homicide, "Okay, I'm dead already." What we want to talk to you about today is what mitigation work is like for the private investigator who comes alongside the trial attorney. Your client may in fact be found guilty of first-degree murder, but when the death penalty is at stake, the investigator comes in to help develop information that helps the attorney to present a case for the jury to find him for life in prison rather than the death penalty. And that's what we're going to talk to you about today on today's episode. Well, back here in the safety of our car, it was great. People driving around and everything else. But that was fun, getting out in the street and actually showing an actual neighborhood where we've actually worked before. So.
Well, we do get out of the car.
We do get out of the car. We actually spend a lot of time out of the car.
We do.
Driving to and from places. But we're here to talk to you today about the mitigation specialist, how private investigators function as mitigation specialists in capital cases, which are death penalty cases. Not all of them, because you've done cases you've done mitigation work on cases not involving the death penalty.
Yes.
But what are some of the skill sets investigators have to bring to the table as a mitigation specialist? First of all, what is mitigation?
Well, I thought, we should start at the beginning. Mitigation is on a death penalty case, or sometimes even on a minor that's charged with a life sentence. I know we had one of those. They'll have a second hearing, and it's just for a sentencing, and it's just like a trial, only much more condensed, and they bring in witnesses, and they're trying to mitigate whatever sentence that they are asking for, the state. They're trying to reduce it. They're trying to show, for some reason, why this person should not be given that sentence. Yeah,
either the death penalty in the case of an adult, and sometimes even almost minors.
Yes,
but for minors in particular, with cases charged with serious adult felonies,
right.
You're trying to avoid a life sentence. Mm-hmm. So obviously, these are the highest stakes you could possibly imagine.
Yes, this is the top of the heap here.
life and death, and everything else in between.
Yeah.
So some of the skills that you bring, interviewing skills. How do interviewing skills play into it?
Just to tell you, what is a mitigation specialist? I never really planned on being one, but we were doing court-appointed criminal defense work. And if you're doing it, it's going to come up.
Yeah.
And so we decided maybe we could do that. And we had a lawyer ask me, it wasn't a death penalty case, it was a juvenile that had committed a homicide and was looking at life in prison.
Yeah.
So investigators have the skills. If you're a good investigator, you pretty much come equipped. And so you have to be a good interviewer. It's a lot of interviews of family members, friends. It's more of a social background on this person, on your client.
Mm-hmm.
And these family members are not always easy to talk to. You have to have very good interviewing skills and people skills. You have to be able to talk to some very difficult clients, witnesses. Be able to, you're trying to get information about their life, which they don't really want to talk about. A lot of times it's very sordid details.
Yeah.
So compassion is another big thing with the interviews. They have to know you care about them before they're going to tell you something.
Yeah, that's true. They do. Also your research skills, because you're trying to obtain the defendant's school records,
right,
medical records, any psychiatric treatment that the client has had, employment records. And I know that you sent records by fax and email to hundreds of employers and schools and teachers.
Yeah. It's records retrieval. That's just like we do on the regular cases. This might be a little more intense, but you have releases from the client and details. You have to be detail oriented and persistent to get the records. Sometimes they go way back. So we're trying to even get birth records if we can. Did something happen at the birth? So yeah, it's a lot of research.
We've actually
but
sent
that's what we specialize in.
Yeah, we've actually sent an investigator on a mitigation case. We've actually sent an investigator overseas
Yes,
to a foreign country to explore where the client was born and raised.
that's right. That's right.
So, I mean, these things are very widespread. They're extremely intense, detail-oriented, something that Wendy really kind of excels
like
in.
it.
Or they must be carefully organized and documented. And they can be, from a financial standpoint, they can be lucrative in that you are paid at a slightly higher rate than you would be on a regular investigative capacity.
Yes.
But it is very demanding work as well.
It is, because well, someone's life is at stake. So this is not something you can just put on your back burner and get to it when you want to. It's intense, and you know, most of them will take a plea.
Yeah.
But we had one go to trial, and we had a mitigation hearing.
Yeah.
And
It's very intense.
it's very intense. Yeah.
So
It's a big responsibility,
It is.
but if you like a lot of drama too.
yeah, and if you're interested in criminal defense work, then this
Yeah.
is simply something else that you should be ready to explore as a possible another avenue to build out your professional career, your resume. And so we highly commend it to those of you who are interested in criminal defense work. Criminal defense investigations are always in demand, and they are obviously stepping stones to other work as well. So just wanted to bring this to you as just get out in the street a little bit,
And
show you
one
the actual
thing
scene.
else,
Yeah.
Before you finish, I
Yeah.
want to mention you don't have to have any kind of a mental health degree
No.
to be a mitigation specialist. We hire mental health experts.
Right.
You're the investigator. You're the one doing these investigative tools. So
Correct. Specialists who knows who the experts are.
Right.
We routinely work with psychologists, psychiatrists, other social workers, jury selection specialists, the entire range. But the mitigation specialist is really tasked with the social investigation to come up with a reason for the jury to award the life sentence rather than the death penalty, or something less than life in some cases. So explore it. We have other videos down below that relate to criminal defense work. I hope that if you're interested, you'll take a look down below, subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode of Investigators in Cars Drinking Coffee.
Thank you.